This regular meeting of the Coralville City Council to order, September 10th, 2019. Roll call.
Councilmember Foster.
Present.
Gross.
Perfectly on time.
Gill. Present. Dodds.
Present.
Goodrich.
I'm here.
Okay, all council members are present, as is the mayor, the city clerk, city administrator, legal staff, and several staff members in the audience. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Item 2A that's not on the paper here is item to approve the agenda. I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, except taking off on item 6, items F, G, and I. All those, I would like to make a motion to approve those, except those corrections.
Okay, the motion's been made to approve the agenda
And
with
J.
the removal of items 6, F, G, and I.
We need J removed.
And
too.
J.
And J.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And J, those 4 items. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Gross. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, the agenda's approved. Item 3 is citizen comments. This is the time on the agenda for anyone in the audience like to speak to us tonight about an item that's not already on the agenda. Please, happy to have you. Please introduce. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good evening. I'm Jim Hayes, and I'm here to give a report on behalf of the Coralville Community Food Pantry.
Oh, good.
And I'd like to first extend thanks for the city's contribution to repair our roof. If you've ever been in that situation before, you know how much that's greatly, greatly appreciated. The other thing is barring difficulty with technology here, just a few numbers for you. Some people like numbers. For the month of July, we had 881 family visits for a total of 389, or serving a total of 389 families. Total individuals served was 1,512. Since May, our numbers in all categories have been increasing. Total food distributed was 36,745 pounds, so pretty substantial. Just to note what's coming up this Friday, we have our golf outing coming up with, we're happy to report that all of the hole sponsors have been taken, but we are still accepting golfers, both individually and teams. So please contact the food pantry, John Bowler, our executive director, for more information on that. I was going to bring individual enrollment forms for each one of you, but we'll dispense with that. The community meal program that we're have a partnership with others in the community is September 27th at Northwest Junior High. This is a new location for us. We've been told that there are 750 students attending Northwest Junior High. Consequently, if only half of those students show up with their parents, we're going to have quite a crowd to feed.
It's
So-
768.
Pardon me?
768.
Okay, let me correct that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mitch is the associate principal there, so.
Okay, gotcha.
Those 18 matter.
Details. The weekly meal program we're exploring, we're still looking at doing Monday nights on a weekly basis. We wanted to implement that in September of this year, but we think just because of coordinating and getting all the resources together, we're looking at pushing that back into 2020. And then the school break nutrition program that we implemented July 10th and July 24th for the summer lunch bag distributions. We ordered the food, assembled the bags, and distributed 50 bags to local children. So that's what I have for you folks this evening, other than extending our thanks. Okay?
Thank you, Jim, and
You bet.
thanks for your service to the food pantry. Anyone else like to speak to us tonight? Yes, please.
Well, what I want to talk about is kind of on the agenda, but not. Item 11 on the agenda brought me. I am your neighbor that sits all alone on the east side of Hughes Street. And I've talked to the...
Could you introduce yourself, please?
Pardon?
Could you introduce yourself first, please?
My name's Melody Witt.
Okay.
I've talked to the developer, and if everything he says is true, it sounds wonderful. I was just kind of wondering, though, about the rest of the city-owned property. I want a garage. You're smiling because you never called me back. I don't think I have room within the setback requirements to build a two-car garage, and I'm not going to bother if I have to go with a one-car, so I was kind of wondering what was going to happen with Lot 18. I think it's in the brownfield, but is there somebody I could talk to sometime to find out about that? If, you know,
Yeah, Kelly?
what my chances were for building a garage?
Which lot do you live on? You live on
I live on 19.
19. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The building official, Mr. Kessler, he's the one who does the setbacks, and he's at the. I can either give you his number, or he's the one who could talk about setbacks. Somebody in the building department.
What about Lot 18? Will it be for sale?
At this point, we don't have, other than these 3 lots, we don't have any plans that we, at this point, what we're going
Well-
to do with the rest of them, because this is just,
Well, it's a huge commitment on this man's part.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep.
I came from living out in the country. My previous neighbors were a hog confinement and an anhydrous boat plant,
boy.
so I'm not real picky about neighbors.
So,
But I would like a garage, so
okay.
if you could ever consider selling Lot 18, I would buy it.
Okay. Let me, if you leave your name and phone number on there, I'll have Mr. Kessler give you a call.
Okay. And that's it.
Okay, well, thank you. Molly, was that correct?
Melody.
Millie, okay, Millie.
Melody.
Sorry.
Melody.
Melody. Okay, I'll get it yet. Thank you. Okay, anyone else like to speak to us tonight? Seeing none, I think we'll move on to 2 proclamations that we have on tonight's agenda. The first one is in regards to Constitution Week, and I'd like to read it, and then we have Christy Hager in the audience that will be receiving it. So, City of Coralville Proclamation. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to the rule of law. And whereas September 17th, 2018 marks the 230, should that be 2019 maybe? Okay, we'll fix that. September 17th, 2019 marks the 232nd anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore I, Mayor John A. Lundell, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th to the 23rd, 2019 to be Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution, the ideals of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Coralville to be affixed this 10th day of September in the year of our Lord 2019. Signed, John A. Lundell. Now, Christy Hager, I will present this to you, but we'll also reprint it with, there's a typo in the year on there, so we'll get a clean, fresh copy to you. But please come forward, and I'd like to present this to you. Thank you for coming tonight, and be happy to have you say a few words if you'd like at the podium.
Constitution Week is an initiative that was started by the Daughters of the American Revolution in the 1950s to encourage continued study of early American history, the principles of the Constitution, and how those ideas are still relevant to us today. And I just want to thank the mayor and the city council and all of you for continuing to support this program. And I also will be setting up the information display in the lobby, and also this Friday at the Herbert Hoover Park, there is the naturalization ceremony that is happening. So people are welcome to come, and view that and see what it is like to become a new citizen.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Okay. Next one is always a fun one. I'm going to proclaim the renaming of Coralville to Playville for PLAYvolution from September 10th to the 29th. Now, as you can see, this proclamation is in about number 2 font. So I'm going to try and read this, but I have a pair of cheaters in my pocket, so if I have to, I'll crack those out. So, City of Coralville Proclamation. Whereas a play deficit exists in our society, a very real decline in unstructured play, which has critical implications for the health of our community. And whereas children's media usage has soared in the past 2 decades, with the average American child engaging in 7 hours, 38 minutes of media use each day. And whereas play is critical to children's healthy brain development and building active, healthy bodies. And whereas play allows children to use their creativity while developing their imagination, dexterity, and physical, cognitive, and emotional strength. And whereas unstructured play allows children to learn how to work in groups, to share and negotiate, to resolve conflicts, and to learn self-advocacy skills. And whereas play helps children develop new competencies that lead to enhanced confidence and the resiliency they will need to face future challenges. And whereas play is just as important for adults, especially in the workplace, keeping one's functional under stress, refreshing the mind and body, triggering creativity and innovation, increasing energy, and helping prevent burnout. And whereas play is so important to optimal child development that the United States High Commission for Human Rights has recognized it as a right of every child. And whereas above all, play is a simple joy that is a cherished part of childhood. Now therefore be it resolved that I, John A. Lundell, Mayor of the City of Coralville, proclaim the City of Coralville to be renamed Playville from September 10th to the 29th, 2019, as we celebrate PLAYvolution. Further, I encourage all residents of all ages to support and promote the idea that unstructured, unplugged, unlimited play is a critical component of healthy development for the community members of Coralville. Signed and sealed this 10th day of September 2019. And we have a number of guests here tonight to receive this, I believe, including our own Councilmember Dodds. Hey, Jeff. Thank you, Mayor. You bet. See you again, yeah? Thank you. You bet.
Looks like they're gonna get you one after all.
Aha, I knew you'd have something good. Thank you. Oh, kazoos. They can never.
Yeah, show a switch in to blow on. I see people, we're all having trouble with that.
Which end? Blow in the big end. Okay. Yep.
I'll bet Don's good.
You know how to, can you get the plastic out?
So what we're going to do is, as we travel around all the cities with the proclamations, we're starting, of course, in the host family of Playvolution, where this all began, with our mayor, who decided the mayor's favorite song was their choice.
Kevin, there's no beer?
But we're going to go with the Iowa Fight song.
Oh, great choice.
Great
Yep,
choice.
yep,
All right,
yep.
your game coming up, and
Yep,
your partner's
yep.
up. Whenever we're ready, I'm set.
And we'll try to be on structure, but remember with the kazoo, you don't blow, you hum.
Hum.
Okay, so we're humming the Iowa Fight song. But practice a minute, everybody looks at tune up.
Great, are we ready? 1, 2, ready, go.
want to start by offering a special thanks to Councilmember Jill Dodds, who has supported this initiative from the beginning and championed it. And so thank you so much, Jill, for your support for the museum, for the Play community, and for this community as a whole, and for believing that everybody should have those good things in life and that it makes us a stronger community. So thank you so much for that. My name is Jeff Capps, and I am the very proud, new-ish executive director of the Iowa Children's Museum as of mid-January of this year, so about 8 months in, and it's just been an absolute joy. One of my heroes who's been getting a lot more acclaim lately that I think he should is Fred Rogers. And he said a lot of great things about play, but one thing that really sticks with me, we have this hanging in the museum. We often talk about play as if it's a break from serious learning, but for children, play is serious learning. Play is really the work of childhood. You probably heard that or some version of that. And I love the fact that we're here celebrating lifelong play too, and intergenerational play. So as Mr. Rogers says, it's certainly about children and about instilling that lifelong love of play and learning in them, but it's really about much more than that. And we talked a little bit about that in the proclamation. So Mayor Lundell, council members, and citizens of Coralville, thank you for taking Mr. Rogers' message to heart and supporting the work of the Iowa Children's Museum and our many partners so generously over the past 20 plus years. As we at the museum gear up for our 20th anniversary celebration at Coral Ridge, it's November 16th, by the way. We're gonna have a big free admission day. It's gonna be wonderful. We're so very cognizant of your critical role in our success. So by the end of this year, we expect to engage, this year alone, 200,000 visitors and engagements in our community. So that is a big milestone for us. Very excited about that. We won't quite hit that by November 16th, but we'll be really close. So we've come a long way. You look even in the past 10 years, how that has just increased exponentially. It's pretty awesome to see. And I really believe that that's no doubt in large part to the partnerships that we enjoy with the city of Coralville, with the Coral Ridge Mall. It's second to none. And I come from a nonprofit background, and I'm very appreciative of partnerships, but I can tell you, working with a lot of nonprofit professionals, it's not a given that nonprofits are going to have that kind of support from the community, from municipalities, from for-profit businesses like the Coral Ridge Mall and Brookfield Properties. It's tremendous. So your financial support throughout the years has been critical, not only to just helping us launch what we do, but sustaining that. The Guest Welcome Center, which you continue to support generously, I think is just a win-win-win when you look at our ability to promote our work there, but then also highlight the wonderful partnership with the city of Coralville and the Coral Ridge Mall. Again, unique, creative, out-of-the-box thinking that's having a great impact. So I'm so thankful for all of that. Finally, your support of initiatives like Playvolution and our Move It, Dig It, Do It event, which is happening this Sunday, by the way, as part of our Playvolution event. That's 11 to 4 this week, this Sunday, is just so critical to making sure that play is available to all. And that's one thing I want to touch on just for a couple minutes, and then I'll close this out. Is we really believe that accessibility piece is so key. So it's wonderful when families can come in and buy a membership or buy an admission day. But the fact of the matter is there are many folks in our community that, and in our region that can't support that. Jill and I were talking about this the other night. We have about 325 families right now that are active in our ICM for Everyone program, which is our free admission program. That's made possible through community support, ensuring that families can get the full range of benefits associated with that. So just a quick story that I shared with Jill the other night. So one of those cold, you remember the polar vortex in January? Businesses were closing all over the place. The Iowa Children's Museum did not close, thank you very much. And we were determined to be a warm, safe place for families, and some families took advantage of that. Very few. There were a couple days there where it was very lean, but I wandered down from my office, as I'm apt to do. I was still very early in my tenure, and I ran into this family in our Science of Skateboarding Notion of Motion exhibit, the skateboard exhibit, and struck up a conversation with this individual. She had 5 kids with her, clearly a single mom, as she went on to tell me. And she said, I want you to meet my 10-year-old son. And he came over, and she said, this is my son. I won't use his name, but she said, this is my son, my 10-year-old son. And he looked at me, and he said, will you play with me? And he hugged my leg. And I said, absolutely, I will come play with you. And so I went and played with him for a few minutes, came back over, talked to his mom, and she said, you just got to know how much this means to him, to have this place. She said, this is his place. She said, and I didn't think we'd be able to come here. She said, we've kind of scraped up the funds to do things like this, and this is our favorite thing to do, but we can't do it all the time. And she said, so a couple weeks ago, I got a letter in my mailbox. It was from the Iowa Children's Museum, and it was inviting us to be an ICM for Everyone member. Had no idea what that meant, but we filled out the form. We showed up here today, and they said, you've got a free membership for a year. So she had been referred by an agency that they worked with for this membership, and she started crying and she said, this is his place. She said, you know, there's a lot of other things to do, and there's the trampoline park, and there's this and that, but this is a place with his various challenges. This is a place where he can be himself. It's a safe place for him where he can thrive physically, intellectually, and it was very obvious in seeing him there. So that's why the work we're doing together is important. That's why we celebrate the PLAYvolution, because we believe that this is so invaluable for everyone. So I just want to make one more pitch, though, to all of you that we're never too old to play. We talked about that earlier. This is a great book, by the way. It's an easy read. I'm not a real good reader, but I read this in just a few nights. That's really good for me. Called Play by Dr. Stuart Brown, and he says, remember the feeling of true play. This is to all of us adults. Remember the feeling of true play and let that be your guiding star. You don't have to become irresponsible or walk away from your job and your family to find that feeling again. Love that. If you make the emotion of play your North Star, you will find a true and successful course through life, one in which work and play are bound together. So he argues in this book that the most significant factor in determining our success and happiness is our ability to play for a lifetime. And I think that is so critical. So lest you guys start to think, okay, this is all kind of frivolous and I don't have time to play, I want you to remember this quote as well. And this comes from author Joseph Chilton Pearce. He says, play is the only way the highest intelligence of humankind can unfold. So we see that time and time again. You look at the most creative people and the most successful entrepreneurs, they know how to play. And as the proclamation said, they know how to play in the workplace. They know how to look at play as serious learning, as serious development, as serious work, and that's part of it. So again, thank you guys for your support of the Iowa Children's Museum, of PLAYvolution, of all the partners. We've got wonderful folks here tonight. Jill's husband, Jeff. I know you all know from the Coralville Library, Sarah Glenn and Erica Benniger, and then also from Coralville Parks and Rec, Sherry Proud and Erica Eichhorn, and they are just incredible partners to us in a variety of ways, and I know throughout the community. So I don't know if it's proper, but let's give our partners a round of applause. So thank you guys again, and we cannot get out of here without doing our PLAYvolution cheer. So I'm once again going to ask Jill to lead us in that. We'll do it once and then let everybody participate the second time. How's that sound?
The PLAYvolution is going to be for 3 weeks. There's so many activities,
Yes.
too many to list. So we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we have a website, PLAYvolution.org. So look it up of what all's going on. There's wonderful, wonderful activities for 3 weeks this year. So with our send off with the cheer, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine, create, discover, explore. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's begin. All right, are we ready?
And Jill, can we end with like a huge kazoo, just cacophony of sound?
We should. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine, create, discover, explore. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let the PLAYvolution begin.
All right. Good job.
The problem is you play at work and Kelly comes down on
I know.
Kelly will let you play.
You said something I like, Gil, I'm good.
I can tell that work session's going to be really fun tonight. Thanks for allowing me. Thank you for coming.
Take a breath now and talk about some public hearings. Item 6, Iowa River Landing Improvements Projects 2019. Item A is a public hearing on the plans, specifications, estimate of cost, form of contract for the Iowa River Landing Improvements Project 2019 East 9th Street. Scott, do you want to say anything before I open the public hearing, or?
I can just mention that the East 9th Street project is making some modifications to East 9th between First Avenue and Quarry Road, and that includes finally constructing the roundabout right there at the intersection of East 9th Street and East 2nd Avenue near 30 Hop and Louis Wine Dive, and where the new arena is under construction. And so it'll be a nice enhancement to East 9th Street.
Okay. Thank you. And that was Scott Larson, our Assistant City Engineer. I'll open the public hearing. Are there any comments on the plans and specs for this project? Any written comments?
No, Richard.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing. And item B is the resolution.
Resolution approving the plans, specifications, estimate of cost, and form of contract for the Iowa River Landing Improvements Project 2019 East 9th Street, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gill. Discussion? Roll call.
Gross. Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Resolution passes, all ayes. Item C is a public hearing on the plans and specifications for the same project except on East Second Avenue. Scott, would you like to?
Right, East Second Avenue is reconstructing the previous segment of East Second Avenue that connected East 9th Street and East 7th Street. So that section of roadway will run along the west side of the arena that's under construction.
Okay. I will open the public hearing on the bids and plans and specs for this project. Are there any comments? Any written?
No, Richard.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing and resolution, please.
Resolution approving the plans, specifications, estimate of cost, and form of contract for the Iowa River Landing Improvements Project 2020- East 2nd Avenue, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Discussion? Roll call.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item E is a bid report.
Okay, and this will be the bid report for the East 9th Street portion of the two projects. We received 3 bids today. The low bid was from All American Concrete of West Liberty. Their bid was $2,795,666.60. That was 4% below the engineer's estimate.
Okay. We're just doing the bid report tonight. We're not taking any action.
Correct.
Item H
Yeah.
is another bid report.
Right. This will be the East 2nd Avenue project. Also, 3 bids were received on this project today. The low bid was from Ports and Construction of Dubuque, and their bid was $2,199,924.70. And that bid was 15% below the engineer's estimate.
Good. So by splitting those two projects into, from one big one into two, certainly paid dividends.
In some ways, if you remember right, we actually took bids on the combined project previously, and
Yeah.
some of the items we determined were underestimated previously. But certainly splitting the project helps with scheduling
Yeah.
and the timing of making sure everything gets done when we want it to be.
Great. Okay, well, that's it for that. I'm sure probably at the next meeting we'll have some action to accept the bids. Item 7 is the amendment to the Mall and Highway 6 Urban Renewal Plan. Public hearing. Item A is consultation report.
We scheduled a consultation report, gave notice to the taxing entities for Friday, August 30th, and nobody attended the consultation. I had not received any written comments from any of the taxing entities.
Okay, and can you please describe for the public what the project entails?
Yes, the project actually is item D on the agenda, which is a development agreement with IRL Parkview Investments. That would be the residential development north of the Marriott parking ramp. That will the first lot will start probably this winter, or get the foundation in this winter. The project is there's rebates in the amount of 75% of the incremental tax values on that property that will be rebated to the developer, and then the developer is responsible for putting all the streets in, unlike the rest of the Iowa River Lane where we put the streets in. So the developer is putting the streets in themselves, all the public improvements when they become due.
Okay, thank you. So item B is a public hearing on amendment number 12 to the Coralville amended and restated urban renewal plan for the Mall and Highway 6 urban renewal area. Open the public hearing. Are there any comments? Any written?
No, Richard.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing and consider the resolution.
Resolution approving an amendment number 12 to the amended and restated urban renewal plan for the Mall and Highway 6 urban renewal area, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gill, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Discussion? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item D is a resolution approving the development agreement with this, for this project.
Resolution approving a development agreement with Parkview Investments LLC, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Foster. Discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item 8 is annexation. This is a first item will be a public hearing on annexation of about 22 acres near the Brown Deer Golf Club and First Avenue. I will open a public hearing. Are there any comments? Any written?
No written.
Okay, close the public hearing and the resolution, please.
Resolution accepting and approving the voluntary annexation of the real property into the city of Coralville, Iowa, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Foster. Discussion? Roll call.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution approved, all ayes. Item 9 is the Iowa River Landing East Second Avenue Utility Improvements Project 2019. I'd entertain a motion to approve pay estimate number 3 final to Dave Schmidt Construction Company for the Iowa River Landing East Second Avenue Project 2019 in the amount of $2,774.
So moved.
I'll take that. Okay, then I'll give it to Gil and a second to Dodds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item B is a resolution for this same item.
Resolution accepting the Iowa River Landing East Second Avenue Utility Improvements Project 2019 as completed, introduced by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gil. Discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item 10 is third and final consideration of an ordinance that will reduce the speed limit to 25 miles an hour between Highway 6 and 340th Street, and also to 35 miles an hour between 340th Street to the corporate limits on Deer Creek Road. Don?
Ordinance number 2019-1011, an ordinance establishing special speed limit zones on Deer Creek Road, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross on third and final consideration, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Goodrich. Any discussion? Roll call.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Okay, the ordinance passes its third and final, all ayes. Item 11 is property sale. This is for the proposed sale of city property to Blue Sky Developers, Inc. for the development of 3 single-family homes with 2-car garages. The cost of each lot will be $10,000, and the public hearing for this project will be on September 24th at our council meeting. Bless you. The resolution, Don?
Resolution of intent to dispose of an interest in real property, that property being lots 20, 21, and 54, Summit Hills Edition, Coralville, Iowa, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gill, seconded by.
Second.
I think Lori got you again.
I give up.
Okay. Second, Jill?
Yeah.
Seconded by Dodge. Would you like to say a little description of this, please?
This is an agreement with Blue Sky Developers, and as part of our property sale that we propose on the next council meeting, there would be a limit on the price of the units that would be sold. They would also be owner-occupied houses for over for 20 years minimum. Yeah, and so this is part of our overall housing plan, and to get some affordable houses and owner-occupied opportunities.
Great. Any other council discussion?
Fits our strategic plan.
Thanks to Blaine for trying to help us out with the affordable housing. Really appreciate that when developers are helping to step up like that. It's great.
Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Resolution passes, all ayes. And Melody, we'll make sure that Jim Kessler gets in touch with you about your specific property in that neighborhood too. Thank you. Item 12 is demolitions. Item A is a report on the proposals. This is for the demolition of the AAA mechanical building at 832 Quarry Road.
Yes, we received proposals this afternoon at 2 o'clock. We received 2 proposals. The low bid was from PCI Contractors, Inc. for $27,000. The second bid was $54,000, so almost double the amount. PCI has done numerous demolitions in the River Landing, so I recommend that we award the demolition contract to PCI in the amount of $27,000.
In the proposals, were there performance in terms of timeline of getting it done?
Well, the first thing we have to do is there's some asbestos that have to get out. So as soon as I put a date in there, but I put a date in there for a couple weeks out, but it's got to give them time to get the asbestos in because they also have to give a 10-day notice to the DNR before they can start demolition anyway. So hopefully the asbestos will be gone by the time the 10-day demolition happens. So first
I know
couple
it's critical to Morrison Construction.
First couple weeks in October, it should be out of there.
Okay.
They are going to be out of there end of next week for the people moving out. So
Okay.
that's going to start the timeline.
Great.
So
Thank you. The resolution, Don?
Resolution accepting quotations and approving a demolition services agreement for the demolition of 832 Quarry Road, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item C is a resolution approving an agreement for an assessment and recommendation on the demolition of the south end of the Hawkeye Ready Mix lot on First Avenue to Bolton and Mink Engineers.
Resolution approving an engineering services agreement with Bolton and Mink, the demolition of Hawkeye Ready Mix Demolition Phase 2, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Foster. Discussion?
Yeah, just for your information, the demolition on the Phase 1, which includes the building, will be on the next agenda. So we'll get that project started out.
Great. Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Resolution passes, all ayes. Item 13 is consider a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented or amended.
Move to approve the consent calendar items A through AA inclusive.
Okay, moved by Gill, seconded by Dodds. Any discussion? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
The consent calendar is approved, all ayes. Item 14 is the Assistant City Engineer Road Reconstruction Report.
Thank you, Mayor. Start with First Avenue between 6th Street and 9th Street. Hasn't been a lot of activity out there. We're still working through some punch list items with the contractor, but we're also working with the developer of the Latitude project to make sure that they finish their frontage along First Avenue, which will then allow our road contractor to finish their work, which really consists of just planting some trees and some landscaping along that east side of First Avenue there. So we're continuing to push on that. Out on Coral Ridge Avenue, the relocation of the traffic signal pole at University Parkway is complete, and they reactivated that signal, which meant the IMCC's north driveway was reopened late today. And then there's miscellaneous work going on throughout that project corridor. We do expect to see a lot of the miscellaneous traffic control devices disappear from the project tomorrow. General site cleanup, but there is some work to be done yet, as I've kind of pointed out in some of the recent project updates. So I'll keep you updated as we move along with those. And I wanted to mention real quick, I think as time goes on, more people are asking when will East 7th Street reconnect between First Avenue and Quarry Road, because it's been closed for so long. There's a lot of pieces to put together down there, but right now we expect sometime in October for that connection to be made and open to the public. So that's what we're shooting for.
That'll be great.
So any questions?
Questions for Scott? Very good. Report's getting shorter and shorter. City Administrator report.
Nothing this time.
Nothing tonight? Okay. Mayor's report. I had a few things on my list I wanted to mention about some upcoming events. The most recent, or the soonest one coming up is there's a ribbon cutting. This Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m., the ribbon cutting will be cut shortly after 5, welcoming the Community Foundation of Johnson County to their new home here in Coralville. They're located in the first floor of the building on the corner of 12th Avenue and 5th Street. They're right near the relocated mansion, not too far from there. And it's wonderful to have the Community Foundation in Coralville. They've got beautiful space. And like I said, we'll be cutting a ribbon there starting at 5 p.m. this Thursday if you would like to stop by. And it's open from 5 to 7. Let's see, in chronological order, the next thing I'd like to mention is another of our arena, extreme arena open houses that we try and do every couple months or so is coming up on Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, September 18th, 4:30 to 6:30 at the, if the weather cooperates, on the outside balcony of 30 Hop. So that's a week from tomorrow, next Wednesday, 4:30 to 6:30, get an update on the Extreme Arena project that is moving along extremely quickly and close to being closed up for the winter, so they can work inside. Let's see. Next thing is that was mentioned earlier by the folks from Playvolution, but somebody mentioned it, I think that's who it was, about the community meal. No, it was Jim Hayes from the food pantry. That's who mentioned it. And I may be stealing somebody's thunder, but you can embellish whatever I say, whoever wants to. And that's just that the next upcoming community meal will be at Northwest Junior High, Friday, September 27th, 5 to 7 p.m., and they're going to have a little added feature this time with having a Coralville transit bus there and transit personnel that will be able to answer any questions that folks may have about Coralville transit schedules and how to use the bus most efficiently. Almost done. Just to sort of give you a heads up so you can start getting your materials together for it. The Mayor's Cleanup Week, the fall cleanup, is the week of October 7th through the 11th on your regular garbage pickup day. That's October 7th through the 11th. On that prior Friday, it's October 4th. Did I say September? I meant to say October if I didn't. For the Mayor's Cleanup, October 7th through the 11th. On the prior Friday, October 4th, is the hazardous, let's see. Yeah, that's the hazardous waste collection. There's several of them here. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the City Hall parking lot. That's Friday the 4th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. hazardous waste. And then Shred Day is the next day, Saturday the 5th, 8 a.m. to noon in the City Hall parking lot. So we've got Mayor's Cleanup, we've got hazardous waste, and we've got Shred Day, all coming up. And of course, there's more information on the city website, but I just mentioned those in case you wanted to start getting your materials together. City Attorney report.
I would report that I enjoyed another fabulous Fry Fest. And I'd also caution you that if you take a group of your great-grandchildren, take plenty of money with you when you do that. Kevin?
I have nothing.
Hey, thank you. Committee and council members' reports. Mitch, you haven't said much tonight, so
I've tried.
I know.
A couple things. First off, I guess to add on to your community meal piece, at Northwest we were trying to showcase the ties between the school and the communities. I think it's a really good fit to have the community meal at Northwest, and the entertainment this year will be the Northwest Orchestra, Choir, and Band we playing, as well as a teacher band, maybe an Extreme Arena future booking. Who knows? We'll find out how that goes. And I believe the police department and Parks and Rec are going to have some displays and some things. Did you know that, Chief?
Yes.
Good, you do now, yeah. And the library as well. So we're hoping for a good way to showcase, the ties and the collaboration between schools and the community. At our last library board meeting on last Wednesday, it is Banned Books Month. And the library kind of celebrates that by offering some freebies. And one of the freebies is you can get your fines exonerated by bringing food in for the food pantry. So we bring non-perishable food in lieu of fines this week. And the last, it's kind of a connection a little bit with the library. I know in late May I brought up here at council about the resignation of Lisa Martin, longtime library board member. We said that we were going to honor her at a later date, and I'd like to put that on the next meeting. I'd like to put that on the agenda for next meeting to recognize her with a
Yeah,
certificate.
we've been trying to make that happen, and her health hasn't.
Well, that's why I
permitted
think,
that
and
yet.
after talking with some, I think next week, next
Okay.
meeting is probably
Okay.
the best one that we can
Okay,
do.
we'll do it.
And that's all I've got, Mayor.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Megan?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a few items. One of the things that I wanted to mention was this Saturday, September 14th, is the Houses into Homes Chili Cook-Off. Houses into Homes is a fantastic organization that provides furniture and housewares for families and individuals who are exiting crisis situations such as domestic violence or homelessness. I will be participating in the chili cook-off, so that is from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Urban Acres here in Coralville, so I encourage everybody to stop by. I also wanted to mention a couple of events that are coming up discussing the issue of childcare in the community. So I have been participating in a community task force to discuss this issue and how stakeholders in the community can come together to find creative solutions to address the massive shortage that we have in our community. So 2 events. The first is a discussion for child care providers, and that will be held this Thursday, September 12th at 6 p.m. at Merge in downtown Iowa City. And then on September 20th, the Child Care Summit will be held from 8 to 10 a.m., again at Merge in downtown Iowa City. And we've just really been, we've had several meetings. We've been talking a lot about the shortage, what are some solutions that other communities have looked at, who are the stakeholders who need to be at the table, because it really is a crisis situation that we are facing, not just in Johnson County, but across the state with a shortage of providers and a lot of families, needing care. It's a workforce development issue, it's an economic development issue, it's a community development issue. So I encourage everybody to participate in those conversations. And then finally, I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the tour that we took a couple weeks ago, the city tour. We got to see a lot of the projects that are happening around the area or here in Coralville, and the progress that we are making is just fantastic, especially on the arena. It's very impressive. And it just made me very proud of all of the good work that we are doing in the community. And I'm just excited to see what's next. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Tom, we'll work our way down.
Okay. I just have one item. I'd like to thank the police department and the public safety about, we got 2 football games under the belt, and they're doing a fantastic job. It's just amazing. Fry Fest went well. First Avenue was open. It was just a pleasure to see Coralville and the police department and everybody pitching in and making it a fun time. Fry Fest and the football games. So,
Yep.
Kudos to those people.
I agree.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Jill?
Thanks, Mayor. I think most of what I had has already been mentioned, but I did want to thank Kelly and Sherry with Parks and Rec and Dan with engineering and those that went with us on the tour for all of the time that they spent and sharing those things. It was really fun to see the inside of the arena as they were putting up the last beam. So really good progress being made there. And other than that, just remember to work hard, but be sure to play harder in your unstructured, unplugged, unlimited play.
Very good. And Lori?
And the big question is, do you work first or play first?
Good
Okay.
question.
The Performing Arts Center has some great things coming up this weekend. Young Footlighters opens its 51st season with Anna Green Gables. It's a charming middle school age production of Montgomery's classic coming-of-age tale. And then next weekend is the City Circle Theater Company opens its 22nd season with The Christians. It's by Lucas Nath, and a beautiful and challenging play about faith. Our summer camps concluded with 238 campers, a 20% increase in summer camp registrations from 2018. So lots to do at the Performing Arts Center also. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Anything else for the good of the order? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Gill, seconded by Gross. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.